Hey everyone, Fuzzy here again, and this is part 2 of my Demon Souls playthrough with no armor, no ranged weapons, no deaths, and fist only. Here I'm in the Nexus. I'm just talking to NPCs to activate whatever they can do for me, clearing out my inventory here to keep my character as light as possible. And also I will use all of the souls I get as I get them, just so I can see in the top right corner of my screen how many souls I have and whether or not I can come back to the Nexus to do an upgrade at any point. But initially I thought souls weighed you down, but in watching this back I can see they don't, so I didn't really need to use them. I could have kept carrying them. There's no risk by using them though, because I can't die, so it's not like I can ever lose them. If I die, the run is over, or at least that was my plan. So now, nothing else to do here as far as I could remember. It was time to start Gates of Boletaria. Like I said in part 1, I've only played Demon Souls through once, but during that I did play through the areas quite a few times, so I'm pretty familiar with most of the areas and what needs to be done. But I wasn't worried about that because I figured I'd just work out what I didn't know on the fly. So I wanted to practice parrying then, and that didn't work. My timing was off. Again, practicing parrying. However, missing the first one did make me a little bit gun shy at this point. I knew I had to practice, but in soul form at this stage of the game, you have very little health. But fortunately, these guys don't seem to take off too much damage if you mess up a parry and then get out of their way. So this is a good area to practice. And that was where I first tried to roll forward and punch and realized it's actually a move on its own, a different move where you roll and punch. Also, I could have just run by all of these guys. I did know where I was going and what I needed to do to open up the boss room, but I didn't want to run through for two reasons. One, I'm not speedrunning the game. I'm trying to play through the whole game in this challenging way, but also because killing everything along the way will give me more souls, which will help me level up later on. That guy dropped some pine resin, but I can't use pine resin in this run because I'm not using any weapons. If I was using weapons, you would use that to put fire on your weapon. At this stage of the game, I'm actually playing very cautiously. I didn't feel like I was experienced enough to run forward at this point, but the more I play throughout this playthrough, I do start to get way more confident at moving forward quickly. But here I'm being very, very cautious not to get hit. Trying to lure him into the hole. I was lucky there because I couldn't remember that there was a guy behind that door, but I should have known. This is a Souls game after all. There's always a guy behind the door. Just like that. Picked up a firebomb there, but I won't be using it. I made my decision at the start of this playthrough that no ranged items would get used, so no arrows, no firebombs, nothing that can be thrown to hurt an enemy in any way. So my decision was, if I can't kill it with my fists, I can't kill it. That was close. Had that guy hit me one more time, that would have been the end of the run. One thing is I could not remember what any of these pickups were, which ones were souls and which ones were weapons. So I made a decision early on that I would just pick up every single item I could see in the game and go to pick up every single item that I could remember that I'd picked up in my first run of Demon Souls. That way, my goal was basically to complete as much of the game as possible, as close to 100% as my memory could get me or my play could get me, whilst making sure that I picked up every possible chance to upgrade my character. Because obviously weapons mean nothing to me in this game, and most other items mean nothing as well, but the souls do. So I really wanted to pick up every item to make sure I never missed a soul. I can't remember where all of the items are, and I probably don't know where a lot of secret items are, so I pretty much resigned myself to the idea that I would miss some. But yeah, by picking up everything that I could remember or could find or could see, I'd guarantee that I would be able to upgrade my character as much as possible. I remembered here there was a throwing. Yeah, I remembered that guy threw that firebomb there. But honestly, I forgot those two sword-wielding guys were there. So that was a moment of panic. And so was that. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to keep myself as light as possible for a fist-only run. Why no armor is actually, I think, more helpful than armor, because you can move and dodge so much faster. It's probably harder to do a run like this with armor on, if I think about it. I really wanted to get things out of my inventory and send them off to storage whenever I picked them up to make sure that I was never weighed down at any point. That guy gave me way more trouble than I thought he should have. In hindsight, watching that, pretty funny. Dumbass NPC. Oh, that's so close. Oh, that's right. I remember panicking that arrow guy was going to hit me with an arrow at that moment, and there goes an arrow there, and end the run instantly. So a couple of close calls already, but at this point, I'm still trying to get a feel for playing with fist only, and also still trying to get a feel for the game, because it had been a little while since my first run, so I was feeling a little bit, I don't know, sketchy on the controls at this point. So much so that there's a red knight here, and I knew there's just no way I was going to survive trying to fight this guy at this point. I wasn't confident or comfortable enough with my character, so I decided to lure him down to the hole at the start that I forced one of those soldiers into. I'd done this before. I had actually started another run of Demon Souls at one point with the idea of doing a club only run, a base level club only run, and in that one I also wasn't confident enough to fight this guy, so I backed off from him and ended up leading him into that hole to his doom. So I thought I'd do exactly the same thing here to get his 2,000 souls. Just had to lead him that way. That's why I'm pretty familiar with this area. Like, I've played it through probably, I don't know, in my first run my first game playthrough of this, I probably ran through this area like 20 times. And then I had that one, I went as far as the third area with a club only before I got actually bored with that and stopped. But I find doing this to be really funny anyway. Just leading him all the way down. And it's kind of worth doing too, because it doesn't take that long. But at this stage of the game, he gives 2,000 souls on his own. And since I can't farm souls, and I'm not going to make any extra souls by dying and then killing enemies all the way back to where my soul remains would be, it's pretty helpful to kill this guy early on. And he's definitely too big a risk. I remember thinking he was way too big a risk to fight. He would definitely end my run. There's no way I would have been able to beat this guy at this point. I was still getting a feel for everything, and I know this guy is extremely dangerous unless you know what you're doing. I didn't feel like I did at this point. And of course he doesn't follow me. And I remember thinking at this point, he's behind that door. He's waiting there for me, and if I stick my neck through there, he's going to kill me. So I'm trying to get better angles on it to see where he is. And it's so dark, I can't be sure. I'm thinking, nah, maybe he's behind this door. And yep, sure enough. And he still won't follow. And I'm really nervous at this point because I'm thinking if I make just a slight wrong move, this guy is going to insta-kill me. And this is the moment of, oh shit, he's not falling for it. But I keep trying because I know he can fall in this hole. And there he goes. 2,070 souls. If I were to do this run again, I would just probably fight him. Although one slight mistake and he will just end you instantly. So probably not. I don't know. Either way, that's a nice risk-free way of killing him early on in the game to get some souls. And I know he was guarding an item as well, and I'm heading to get that item right now. But at this stage of the game, I could not remember what that item was. And to be honest, I still don't. So watching this back, I'll be just as interested as I was when I was playing. Yeah, souls. So there we go. The souls from him and the souls he was guarding, which is worth 400. So not much, but at this stage of the game, 400 is a lot. See, I'm all over the place with my dodging at this point. I'm still trying to get a feel for it. I wasn't sure where that door went. I knew this fog wall opened up and led down to a NPC, which is Ostrava, for starting an NPC's quest line. I wasn't sure where that door went. I couldn't quite remember. So I thought I'd go and clear whatever this area was to get my bearings. But like I said earlier, every area jogs your memory, and as soon as I walked down here, I remembered this is where the fire sword dudes are and leads down to some items. Could not remember what those items were, but I knew they were down there, so off I went. I was being really cautious going down here as well because I mistakenly remembered that there were phalanx hoplites on these stairs, and I knew they were dangerous at this stage of the game. So I was walking down very cautiously, not just for these guys, but for fear of being hit by a spear from somewhere across the stairs. I was wrong though, they're not in this area at all, but I didn't know that at this point. I thought I knew the area really well, but I was mistaken. Still, caution when you're trying to do a no-death run is never a bad thing. With these guys, I thought if I could lure them to jump off the stairs, they would die, and I thought I'd killed them there, only to realise the fall here isn't very high, and it barely hurt any of them. And somehow that guy killed his buddy or killed himself, I don't even know. Basically, I'm just trying to get one on its own, like that. In my first playthrough of Demon Souls, I wiped out most of these guys in one hit with a firebomb, but because I can't use firebombs in this playthrough, these guys were much, much harder. I couldn't risk getting near two of them because two of them together would kill me pretty fast. Better off playing this section very cautiously. And I figured, even if it takes forever, eventually they're going to die if they keep falling off. I saw him fall and thought, finally, I can take this guy on by himself. I ended up pretty happy that I decided to clear this first before going after Ostrava, because the Cling Ring increases your amount of health while in soul form. And even though I'm only going to be in soul form for this first area, after I get my body back, I'll never be in soul form again because I can't die, or I'm not allowed to die. So with a no-death run, I'll never be in soul form again. It's still good to have the Cling Ring for the rest of this area and for the boss fight. More health is good. And of course here I'm just sending off as much gear as I can to storage to make myself light. Alrighty, that's it for this video, and we'll continue on with part 3 from here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in part 3.